Murdoch. This is a story about Murdock the Tender Engine. When he joined my railway, he thought that the other engines talked too much, but he soon realised that they weren't that noisy after all. Thomas, Harvey and Salty love working at Brendam docks. Day and night, day after day, cargo ships arrive at the docks with goods from all over the world. This keeps the engines very busy, but sometimes after working very hard all day, they are so tired that their axles ache. One day the Fat Controller decided to bring a new tender engine to help. The new engine was long and had 10 wheels. "This is Murdoch," said the Fat Controller. "He is going to pull goods on the main line." "Ahoy, Murdoch!" shouted Salty. "Welcome, Murdoch," called Harvey. "You're the biggest engine I've ever seen," cried Thomas. "You're a chatty lot," said Murdoch quietly. Murdoch didn't like chatty engines or the noisy docks. He liked peace and quiet runs through the countryside with just the noise of his engine and the trucks for company. Soon Murdoch was coupled to a long line of heavy trucks. His boiler strained, his wheels started to turn, and the mighty engine chuffed away. But Murdoch didn't puff through the countryside. He puffed through a busy builder's yard with banging, hammering and drilling all around him. Murdoch longed for some peace and quiet, but everywhere he went it was noisy and crowded. At the end of the day, Murdoch was looking forward to a good night's rest. But when he got back to the engine shed, Salty and Harvey were full of questions. "What's the longest train you've ever pulled?" asked Harvey. "Have you ever worked in France?" added Salty. "Please," chuffed Murdoch, "I want some peace and quiet. I don't want to share a shed with chatterboxes." "No need to be rude," huffed Harvey. "We're only being friendly," steamed Salty. The next morning Murdoch collected another long heavy train. This time it chuffed into the beautiful countryside. It was splendid. All Murdoch could hear was the gentle rumbling of his wheels and the soothing of his puffing engine. At last he had some peace and quiet. But suddenly Murdoch's driver applied the brakes. He screeched to a halt. There were sheep on the track, lots of sheep. "The sheep escaped from that field," said the driver. "Through that broken fence," added the fireman. The driver and the fireman tried to chase the sheep back into the field. First this way, then that way. They tried everything, but nothing worked. The sheep were beeping louder and louder. "It's no use," grumbled the fireman. By now the driver and fireman were very cross and tired. They realised that Murdoch's steam had stopped. "The boiler's got no pressure," cried the fireman. Murdoch's fire had gone out. "I'll go and phone for help," said the driver. The Fat Controller was enjoying his afternoon cup of tea when he got the call. "Murdoch's in trouble," he exclaimed. "I'll send help right away." And the Fat Controller went straight to the engine sheds. Meanwhile, Murdoch was stuck with all the noisy sheep. He was very unhappy. The valley wasn't peaceful anymore, and Murdoch had never heard so much noise. But at last the farmer and his dog were beginning to move the sheep away. "Chatty engines are much better than noisy sheep," muttered Murdoch. Just then Salty and Harvey chuffed into view. "I'm glad to see you two," exclaimed Murdoch. "We'll get you out of here in no time," cried Salty. Before long, Harvey and Salty were hooked up to Murdoch. Then with a heave and a huff, they chuffed out of the valley together. That night the engines were back in the engine sheds. "Thank you for rescuing me," said Murdoch. "I'm sorry I was cross. I'm pleased to share a shed with you." "And we're pleased to have you," replied Huffy. "Aye, we are," added Salty. Murdoch had found his peace and quiet at last. The end.